During an appearance on ABC News with host Jonathan Karl this past weekend, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders was put in her place when she attempted to defend Donald Trump's plan to put a 10% tariff on every single good coming into this country. And what happened was that originally they were talking about Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney coming out saying they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. And so Sarah Huckabee Sanders went into a little spiel about how these people are not real conservatives now, which then prompted host Jonathan Karl to say this. Donald Trump is talking about widespread tariffs on virtually everything that is imported into the United States, big tariffs. It's become almost a centerpiece of his economic message right now. How is that conservative? I mean, I've been covering politics for a long time. Conservatives usually don't like taxes, don't like tariffs. Now Trump is talking about them all the time. So Huckabee Sanders laid the trap for herself, said, these people aren't real conservatives. And Jonathan Karl was like, how is Trump a conservative then? Because he's going against everything conservatives stand for by wanting to raise taxes, tariffs. And to that, Sarah Huckabee Sanders embarrassed herself by responding, quote, this is a president who uses that as a tool to hold others' feet to the fire. He wants to make sure that we're actually making things in America. There's nothing more conservative than empowering Americans and American companies to build things here versus building them overseas. I'm going to stop right there and correct her, because conservatives are the people who, by the way, paved the way for us to outsource jobs all over the place, actually giving companies a tax break for outsourcing jobs. So you fail on that front. You're the party of busting up labor unions that had kept the middle class in this country intact for decades. And of course, by keeping it intact, by having strong labor unions, we kept jobs here in America and we built our own things. Reagan came along in the 1980s, put the kibosh on that, and that's when the big era of outsourcing and importing goods came to fruition. So, no, conservatives have historically been the anti-labor, anti-worker, anti-made in America people, not to mention the fact, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, that if you buy any one of Donald Trump's cheap products, they aren't made in America. Look at the tag on your MAGA hat and tell me where that came from. But she continued, we have to quit becoming completely dependent and reliant on people who hate us, people like China, people like Russia, people like Iran. We have you know what? Let me stop right there. I don't mean to insult anybody with this, but are we really sitting here being like, we got to stop bringing in goods from Russia and Iran? When was the last time anybody here went out and bought the latest piece of technology from Russia or Iran? I mean, China, yeah, we get a lot of goods from China. We get a lot of goods from Japan as well. But I don't think that we're really breaking the bank here importing all of these consumer goods from Russia and Iran. Unless you're talking about energy, which of course is sold on the global market, so that comes from all over the place, in which case your statement doesn't hold true. But, don't let facts get in the way of a good talking point, right, Sarah? She continues, we have a president now who has allowed himself to be completely walked all over, and a vice president who has been right there by his side, allowing other countries to take the lead. As we move into the next 4 years in this next administration, we have to decide, who do we want to be the world leaders? Do we want it to be the United States, or do we want it to be our adversaries like China, like Russia? Frankly, I don't want it to be them. I want it to be the United States. And there's only one person and one president and one administration who's done that before and will do it again, and it's Donald Trump. We certainly cannot count on Vice President Harris to build back American strength when she's never demonstrated a capability of doing that in the past. I see your lies followed you all the way from the White House to Arkansas there, Sarah. Remember when Donald Trump promised us all those jobs, right? The Carrier jobs, the air conditioning company, like, oh, we're bringing all them jobs back. And then it never, ever happened. Oh, we're bringing all those Ford jobs back. Nope, that didn't happen either. Oh, but we got Foxconn in Wisconsin, all those jobs. Nope, also didn't happen. Everything she is saying about Donald Trump and his record on jobs, his record on creating jobs, saving jobs, keeping jobs, it's all false. Every single bit of it. And it's verifiably false, and that's why I love it so much. Because these are not just pieces of insider information that nobody else is privy to so you can lie about it because you know you can't be fact-checked. No, these are things, Sarah, that anyone with internet access, which most people are walking around with that literally in their pockets, they can fact check you and they can see that you're lying. And that's kind of why it drives me a little bit crazy when Jonathan Karl doesn't call you out on that. Again, Foxconn, Ford, Carrier, the big three from when Donald Trump was president, promising to bring those jobs to the United States, and none of them materialized. Not to mention, of course, the issue at hand is tariffs. You know, you went off on this tear about, we're going to have job shares or we're going to have tariffs. Do you know what happened when Donald Trump raised the tariffs on certain goods coming into the United States that were either products or components to build products? Do you know what happened to the price of the goods that were manufactured solely in the United States, not relying on any of the parts that were coming from overseas with tariffs on them? The cost of those goods rose by the same amount as the foreign goods. Again, another thing you can look up and easily verify. Again, it's not like I'm privy to information that's not publicly available. Here's why that happens. And here's why this would be a disaster if Trump gets into office and does the 10% tariff on all goods coming into this country. In order to remain competitive, if a foreign supplier has to raise their prices for U.S. consumers to account for the tariffs they have to pay, which is what they do, they pass it on to us. Producers of American goods, let's say washing machines. I think that's the best example because that's one product that saw this during Donald Trump's first tariffs. Say you got a washing machine manufactured in China, they ship it over here to sell it at your local hardware store. So they have to raise their prices by $100 per washing machine in order to account for the tariffs. But then you have a washing machine that is produced and manufactured 100% in the United States, no foreign goods, no foreign labor, boom. So you would think, oh, well, this one's automatically going to be $100 cheaper, right? No. See, the American companies also raised their prices by the same amount that the foreign companies raised their prices because the U.S. manufacturers don't want to be seen as making an inferior product, which is why it's obviously selling for less. They are so greedy that they're trying to blame their price hikes, which shouldn't have happened at all, on the psyche of the American consumers, which maybe it's true to a degree, where we view the higher price as the better product. So they suddenly look around, all these foreign products are $100 more, then why is this one so cheap? It must be crap. Maybe there's some truth to it, but either way, American companies still did that. And they would do the same with Donald Trump's tariffs, which of course economists say would raise prices for the average American family by about $2,000 per year, which I think is a very conservative estimate because that would mean that Americans are only purchasing $20,000 a year with goods with any part at all made in a foreign country, which simply doesn't seem right, but whatever. Either way, a disaster for American consumers, just like this interview was a disaster for Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Well, folks, we have crossed that 1 million subscriber milestone, but rest assured, we are just getting started here at Ring of Fire. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure to like, share, and comment on the videos.